Tarek Skubal, Justin Verlander, it's a conversation we've had throughout the year, but now that there's actually some real postseason stats behind it, I thought it was worth looking into again. So I was just curious as to some Justin Verlander numbers because we never saw a 14 strikeout game from Justin Verlander in the playoffs, let alone in a Tigers uniform. So I started looking at some of the career highs. Justin Verlander had 11 strikeouts 4 times in a Tigers uniform. Skubal obviously topped that yesterday with 14. Verlander has 8 wins in the postseason with the Tigers. Skubal's only got 2. Chance to keep building on that and actually catch him fairly quickly. That's two runs in the postseason that he could potentially catch him, depending on how long the Tigers can go here. There's this game score stat on Pro Reference. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Yeah, it's a pretty accurate score stat, actually.
I wasn't really fully familiar with it until this morning, but everyone starts with 50 points. You're a pitcher, you get 50 points just for walking out onto the mound. You get 1 point for each out, 3 points per inning, or you get 2 points for every inning completed after the 4th. So you get more points for the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th, and 9th inning. 1 point for each strikeout. You subtract 2 points for a hit allowed, subtract 4 points for an earned run, subtract 2 points for an earned run allowed, or for each earned run allowed, unearned run, and 1 point for each walk. And the total score is your pitcher's game score. Skubal had a score of 80 yesterday. Verlander has scores in a Tigers uniform of 89 and 87, where he pitched 8 and 9 full innings. Complete game as a starter in the playoffs is crazy. But the thing is, in those 2 games where Verlander had the crazy high scores, he had 16 swing and miss pitches, and in the other one he had 22 swing and miss pitches. Tarek Skubal had 26 yesterday. He just attacks dudes, and they try to swing, and they just can't. They try to make contact, and they just can't do it. He's on a different level when it comes to getting guys to whiff.
There were some hilarious at-bats yesterday for the Guardians. I mean, some of the worst at-bats you'll ever see, just because you can tell how terrified they are of Tarek Skubal. And Skubal did his best Verlander impression yesterday. Heating up as they get later into the game.
Mm-hmm.
You get near those 100 pitches, all of a sudden you're pumping 101 on the fastball. That was continuously happening, so that was very cool to see. But yeah, the swing and miss stuff will never be topped for Skubal. That's where he has the advantage over Verlander, where I do think Verlander has a lot of the other spots advantage him. Skubal takes that for sure.
It almost feels like both of those guys, as the game goes on and the adrenaline gets pumped up, they just get even better. And Skubal got to a point yesterday, he retired 6 in a row, 5 of 6 strikeouts, something ridiculous like that. And it's like, this guy's unstoppable. He's just going to be able to pitch the entire game, and the only reason you take him out is because you don't want his arm to fall off, and you need him to be healthy the next game too. It's just a different level that he's pitching on right now. And I know we have Crochet and Fried and all these other awesome pitchers.
We're both really good yesterday, by the way, too.
Yeah, we've got all these studs across the majors, but this guy is levitating above everyone else right now, and yesterday was a perfect example of why.
Absolutely. And, we talked about this in the lock of the day about the K's line being at 7.5. That seems low, so you don't get kind of juice on it. Maybe go an alt number, but it's the playoffs. You never know how fast they're going to pull them out. No, that was obvious.
So obvious.
14 strikeouts in a playoff game. I don't think I have really recognized how unreal that is. Like I said, that's the most ever since 2000 for a starter on the road in a postseason game. That is the fact that it's his career high and it came in the playoffs in probably the most important start of his career. It's either this one or the one against Cleveland last year in the playoffs. It's one of those 2 games. But, bouncing back from facing Cleveland in the playoffs last year and doing that, it's just insane behavior from Tarek Skubal. I totally understand the argument of, it probably wasn't the best pitching performance a Tigers postseason pitcher's ever had. It's a lot of P's. Because there's been guys that have pitched in the World Series and had the Mickey Lolich stuff. That. I totally get that. And that's valid because it's teams that won the World Series and were led by those pitchers. I get that. But from a skill perspective, this guy just kills everyone when he's on the mound. Nobody's like Skubal, man. He is so entertaining to watch. In the postgame on ESPN yesterday, they sat there and talked about Skubal for probably 30 minutes without going to break. They were just basically glazing him.
Rightfully
How
so. He
could you
deserves
not?
to be
Yeah.
glazed.
How could you not? Like, they weren't talking about anything else. No preview of any of their games. It was just talking about how elite he is with that changeup, and obviously the combination with the fastball too. Just so good.
He could throw no other pitches besides the fastball and the curveball, or not the curveball,
And the
but
change.
the changeup.
I mean, he does that honestly sometimes, right? Sometimes he won't even throw any other pitches.
And it's just like no one's going to be able to hit this stuff. Nobody.
But
the
he'll
fact that
sneak
he
in
even
the
gave up
occasional
earned
cutter
run.
there. He'll sneak in the occasional curve. Like, it's
And then once
he
in a
does that
blue
the
moon,
perfect
he gets
times.
Dan Dickerson aroused by throwing
the
the knuckle curve.
Yeah.
Dan Dickerson's like, "Oh my god!" And it's so awesome when he does it.
I didn't listen to the Dickerson call yesterday. I kind of wish I would have at least went back and listened to some of the highlights of it.
I listened to some of the highlights. The game-winning call was good because he didn't really believe it until it was in Javi's glove, and like that ball was up in the air forever.
Yeah, because that's Cleveland, man.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like it's just
Voodoo
it's just what
magic.
happens.
Voodoo Magic. 989-837-6125. Casey Mize is on the mound in 2 hours. You got 2 hours until first pitch for game number 2. If Casey Mize is able to come out on top, the Tigers are not only advancing to the ALDS for the second consecutive year, but they are putting this entire narrative of the Cleveland Guardians behind them. That, I think, is maybe equally as important as getting out of this series. But they've got 2 chances to do it. They've got to win one of the next 2 games. I'm feeling really confident that they're going to be able to do this. I think they close it out today because Casey Mize is having some of the best pitching performances of his entire career here in the month of September so far, obviously now into October. But I really do. I really do think they close this thing out and put the whole September narrative to bed and advance to the ALDS today because this Cleveland team is not very good. Your predictions for game number